All right, so it says graph the function, label the vertex and axis of symmetry. All right, so number one, just looking at it, you can tell, oops, didn't want that to happen. You can tell what the vertex is. It's in vertex form. All right, so what's the x value of the vertex? Caitlin? Close. Yeah, -1, right? Whatever's in here with the x, it's the opposite of that for the x value of the vertex. Tristan, what's the y value of the vertex? 0. Right. There's no number out here, then that means that y value of the vertex is 0. Okay? So if I know what the vertex is, I know what the axis of symmetry is. William, what is it? Right. If that's the vertex, the x symmetry goes right through it. So what's the x equal?
-1.
There you go.
Smart.
Yeah. All right. Questions on that? And then we're supposed to graph it, right? So, if I do a quick graph, I'm just going to do it, -1, 0 would be right there. Okay. And then, we could, in my axis of symmetry, is this dashed line, right? Through -1. Okay, does it open up or down? Up, right? What's the A value? +1, right? There's no number there. The A value is +1. So it's going to go up. I'm just going to put 0 in. I'm going to go towards the y-axis, put 0 in, and see what I get. What's 0 plus 1? 1. What's 1 squared? 1, right? So here is another point. So where's a third point so I could make my parabola? It would be left 1 and up 1, wouldn't it? And if we think about what we've been learning, this tells us that the squared part tells us it's a quadratic, a parabola, right? And the transformation is just moving left 1, right? So all it is our parent function moved left 1. Okay? So there's our graph. Okay? Number 2. What is the vertex, Mason?
4, 2, -5. Sorry.
Yeah. 4, -5. Okay? Whatever's in with the x, it's the opposite, right? And then whatever's outside is what it is. Kaylin, did you have a question? Okay. We got that? So my axis of symmetry is what, Mr. Collins?
4.
Yeah, x equals 4. That quick and easy, right? And then if we graph it quick, there's my 0, 0. So I'm going to go by 2s. 2, 4, 2, -2, sorry. -4, -6. So 4, -5. 4, -5 is about there. Does this open up or down? It goes down, right? So I need more room to go down, right? But again, I'm just going to use, I'm going to go towards the y-axis 1. So I'm going to use 3. What's 3 minus 4? -1. What's -1 squared? +1 times a -2. -2 minus 5, -7. So, if I put, -8 here, then at 3, -7 is about right there, right? If I draw in my axis of symmetry, then my other point reflected is 5, -7, right? And it's going down, right? Like I want. Does that make sense? Questions? So those two were in vertex form. What's number 3? What form's it in? It's in standard form, right? So to find the axis of symmetry, we'll do that first. We use x equals -b/2a, right? So -b/2 times a. Oops, I wrote that wrong. Okay? Just using our formula, right? What's 2 times 3/2? What happens to the 2's? You guys know that the 2's cancel? You should know that. Okay? So it's -3/3, which, +3/3, which is what? 1. So there's my axis of symmetry. Okay? So my vertex then is 1 something. How do I find the y value of the vertex, Taylor? No, that's the y-intercept. Okay? -1's our y-intercept. What do we do to find the rest of the vertex, the other half? Fill it in where? Into the original problem, right? For x. We know x is 1, so we just plug 1 in. All right? So we got 3/2 times 1 squared minus 3 times 1 minus 1. Again, 1 squared is 1 times 3/2 is 3/2, right? Minus 3 minus 1. Well, 3/2 is 1.5, right? So what's 1.5 minus 3? -1.5 minus another one. -2.5. Thanks. Okay. So there's my vertex. It's okay. It's not always going to be a whole number. Okay? Sometimes we'll get a decimal or a fraction. Okay? So then I just graph. From there, we should be able to graph it, right? Because we have our vertex, we have our y-intercept. So I would use the y-intercept for my other point and then reflect it. Okay? So, if I do it in purple over here, let's see. Let's do it on this one because it's 2.5. We're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see if we can put it on here. All right, so 1 -2.5 is right there. Here's my axis of symmetry. All right. And then what's my y-intercept? -1. So there. So over here at 2, -1, and it'll look like that. Okay? Questions on the first 3? How'd you do? Hopefully you did okay. All right. 4, 5, and 6, we got to figure out if it's a min or a max. Find that value then, domain and range, and when it's increasing and decreasing. Okay? So just going over increasing and decreasing. On the red one, decreasing is to the left of the axis of symmetry. Increasing is to the right. Same thing with the purple one. Left is decreasing, right is increasing. The blue one, left of it's increasing and right of it's decreasing. Think of what it's doing left to right. And what values do we look at for increasing? X or Y values? X or Y values? X values. Okay? Range is the Y values, domain is the X values. increasing and decreasing, we're looking at the x values, okay? So, since this is, a is -4, it opens how? Up or down? Down. So do we have a min or a max? Max, right? Very top. So we got to figure out the maximum value. To figure out the maximum value, we got to figure out the vertex. When it's in standard form, to figure out the vertex, we got to find the axis of symmetry first. So we got to do those steps so we can figure out what that max value is. So x equals -b over 2a. What's -8 divided by -8? 1, right? So my vertex is 1, and then I put it in here. I go 4 times 1 squared plus 8 times 1 plus 3. 1 squared is 1 times 4 is 4 plus 8 is 12 plus 3 is 15. So what's the max value? 15. And why do I have 7 in my homework? What did I do wrong? Oh, I made 4 positive instead of negative. All right. So -4 plus 8 is +4 plus 3 would be 7. So I forgot my negative sign. Don't make Carol's mistakes like me. So there's one answer. Okay. Domain is always all real numbers. Range, since it's a max, y is less than or equal to 7. Okay. So remember, since it opens down, the left side of the graph of the parabola is the increasing side. So we look at the x value. So increases when x is less than 1, and decreases when x is greater than 1. You look at the x value of the vertex. Increasing, decreasing. So all those are the answers for number 4. Okay? Number 5, it's in standard form again. 5 is the A value, up or down? Up, min or max? Min. All right, so axis of symmetry, -b over 2a. What's -20 divided by 10? -2, right? So my vertex is -2 something. So 5 times -2 squared plus 20 times -2. -2 squared is 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times -40. What's 20 minus 40? -20, right? So there's my minimum value. Okay? Domain again. All reals. Range, y is greater than or equal to -20. Questions? All right, so now it opens up. So left side is decreasing and right side is increasing. Again, we're looking at the x value. So it decreases when x is less than -2, and it increases when x is greater than -2. Question. Do I need to go through 6? Do we understand? Okay, so number 6, I'll give you the answers. It's a minimum because it opened up. My a value is +1/2. The minimum value is -5. All right, the vertex was 4, -5 when I figured it out, so the axis of symmetry was 4. Domain again is all reals. Range is y is greater than or equal to -5. So it increases when x is greater than 4, and it decreases when x is less than 4. Questions? All right, how much time do we have? All right, we got 8 minutes. All right, x-intercepts, those are easy. Remember, that's when the y value is 0. Just look at these. What's the opposite of +4? -4. What's the opposite of -3? 3. Okay? So vertex and axis of symmetry. All right, axis of symmetry is just taking those two numbers, add them, and divide by 2. So what's -4 plus 3? -1, right? What's -1 divided by 2? -1/2, right? So that's my axis of symmetry. Okay? And then my vertex, I put -1/2 in for x to find the y. All right? So that's 4 times 3.5 times -3.5, right? And that came out to -49. Yeah. So the vertex is way down there. And then you were supposed to graph that. So, you know, you got an x-intercept of -4 and an x-intercept of 3, and then the vertex is way down here at that -1/2, -49. Okay? Number 8. Again, you just set them equal to 0. So -7 times what is 0? 0, right? And x minus, or what minus 6 is 0? Or what's the opposite? 6, right? So there's my x-intercepts. Axis of symmetries, halfway between those. What's 0 plus 6 divided by 2? 3, right? So then the vertex is 3 something. So -7 times 3 times 3 minus 6, which is -7 times 3 times -3. So 21 times 3 is 63. 2 negatives make it positive. Okay? Does it open up or down? Up, down, right? So way up here at the top of it is 363. All right? And then you got, over here, way down here is 0, 0. And then over here 6, 0. And it looks like that. Okay? You follow me? All right. Questions? All right, the word problem, what I did is I found the x-intercepts of the equation they gave us. Oops, went too far. The x-intercepts, just set that equal to 0. -16 times what is 0? 0, right? T minus, what minus 1.5 is 0? 1.5, right? So it looks like this, same picture, but I got the 0, 0. But this is 1.50. So which one went further? The first one or the second one? Well, this first one went further?
Oh, second one.
This is a picture of the second one. This is number 2. This is number 1. So it's the second one, right? And then, how do I find this point? I got to find halfway between, right? What's half of 1.5? 0.75. So I plug 0.75 in. And when I did that, I got 9. All right, so the other one was 0.759. Which one went higher? Second one or first one? Second one. So the second one went higher and longer, right, or further. Okay. Got it? All right, so your homework is the practice quiz.